Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you this evening to a special presentation by Bishop Noel Jones and John Stewart of the Black Unicorn Factory. So I want to welcome those both near and far who've come to listen tonight to something brand new and, in our opinion, revolutionary. We hope that you'll enjoy it. Tonight's presentation is being recorded. And so therefore, if there's anything that you would like to be repeated, please just reach out and we'll provide you with a recording of tonight's presentation. I want to thank Bishop Noel Jones for the opportunity that he's given us at Black Unicorn Factory to present our program to so many of the followers and those that are partners with him. And we're honored to be a guest tonight. Tonight, I'll try to be as informative as I possibly can and light. I've noted this is a very difficult subject, but I'll do my very best to make sure that everyone I can speak in layman terms as well as intelligent. So I want you all to know that just relax. We shouldn't be very long. I won't hold you, but I would like to end with a few questions. I like to, if you can hold your questions to the very end, that'll be great. And if you'd like, remember those questions will be recorded if you don't mind, because they possibly would help someone else. But tonight, first, I want to introduce myself again. I'm Johnny Stewart, President, CEO, and founder at Black Unicorn Factory. I'm one of the teachers that are there. I'm not only a founder, I have many hats that I wear, as you can see in the picture, but one that I'm most proud of is that I'm a person that fears the Lord. So I wanted you to kind of know a little bit about me. Also, an author of several books. If you'd like to read any of them, they're welcome to those books. I'm willing to, if you'll email and just say, could I see one of those books, Brother Stewart or Stewart? And I'll be glad to have you a copy of them. They're all in paperback form, but you're welcome to those. And many of these books are discussing different techniques and strategies about the law called the Jobs Act and about how we utilize it together at the Black Unicorn Factory. But at Black Unicorn Factory, for most of you who are new, it is a IPO accelerator, which means that we basically prepare companies. We're a school that prepares companies to go public, meaning go to the stock market where they can grow and have enough capital to become big, thriving businesses. Because there's such a disparity in lending, this is another bite at the apple. So we have, because of the Jobs Act and President Obama and passing the Jobs Act, we're given an opportunity, again, another opportunity to reach the levels of many other large businesses by having sufficient enough capital. Going public is difficult, but not anymore. But that's a part of our program as well. I wanted you to know about the Black Unicorn Factory pre-IPO accelerator program. Tonight, that I want to deal with a myth, and that myth is that they told you it takes money to make money. Well, that's kind of a myth. That's not exactly true. I want to challenge that thought because there are many that are out there that actually are taught all across the nation. Because across the nation, the number one form of investing is cash-based investing, whether it be stocks or bonds or real estate, crypto, lotto, cannabis, or credit. It all requires the same thing, cash. But everyone believes that there's only one option. And so that's where we come in tonight. One of the biggest problems that is out there in cash-based investing is that most of the economy is living from paycheck to paycheck. Most people can't even save $400 after they put food and pay for living expenses. They don't really have much to invest with. And they really don't have the money to put to the side for investments because it's not going to be significant if they do. But there is a way. And the question I have for each of you tonight is this. If you could invest with no cash and no risk, would you do it? That's a challenging question, I know, considering that no one else out there is actually teaching you that you actually can. But one of the things about it is there are many who actually believe that, and we have an app that can actually do that.
Hey everyone, Anthony Anderson. Now, if there were a way to invest without spending a dime, would you do it? Now there's an app called Follow Me for Equity that allows you to earn stock in pre-IPO companies by just following them on social media. Stop following for free and earn equity.
That's right. And you can. I want each one of you to know tonight that the strategy in which we're discussing is called task-based investing. Task-based investing is where a person actually performs a particular task or duty or something that they were asked to do. and that will suffice. Task-based investing is actually a modern spin on something that is actually very old, which is called sweat equity. Sweat equity is when a person actually, in lieu of paying for stock or things like that in cash, they're actually able to earn it. And that's always been in the law. You've always had two options. Either you can buy it with cash or you can earn it. Many people who have worked for companies, and 80% of startups today offer what we call sweat equity. And sweat equity is that instead of you putting in cash, you're going to put in work. And that's exactly what they're doing. But it's in your Investopedia, also in Webster's dictionary. So it's not a new concept. We just had a new twist on a very old concept. Mark Cuban, also, you know him. He's the owner of Dallas Mavericks, I believe, and he also is a big proponent of sweat equity. He actually believes that sweat equity is very important to startups and things like that. And he's when many times he wears his shirt, letting others know about his thing, his belief. But as I was saying, the number one form of investing in America is cash-based investing. But there's certain things about cash-based investing that are very disadvantaged to many of Americans. One is most cash-based investment gurus all teach that you should budget your income, save money, and then invest. But the problem that you have with that is that many times it's too slow. It takes decades to build enough capital, with rising in prices and things like that, eat away at your savings. The taxation cuts into your returns. Market crashes can affect those things. And many times, not many times, but all the time, it excludes people that have no cash. So if you have no cash, you can't invest. Then people are not given an opportunity or an option other than that. And then it keeps those who have cash in control. So one of the things about it's very exclusive. When you say cash and cash only, there's a large contingency of Americans who don't have it. Even recently, a person that spoke about this was Damon John. You know Damon John from Shark Tank and also from Fubu. He also speaks many times on just this subject, that you don't need money to make money. That's actually a myth. And then many of those who are rich and wealthy, they notice that it doesn't always take other people's money or even your own money, but you can actually invest with something other than money. And so tonight I wanted to discuss a little bit about our subject matter, which is cash-based investing versus tax-based investing. And they are different. One is the cash that comes, of course, and the other one is performing sweat equity or doing a task in exchange for it. So what has happened is, what if one of the things we want to bring out what if your time was an investment? Many times the securities laws always state that an investor must be able to invest with what he can afford to lose. Many of us have lots of time. I see people playing Candy Crush all the time. And what I find is that we do waste a considerable amount of time just because we're bored. But what if you could turn your time into a form of investment? You can. Because now, what if you were able to just follow a company on social media? Just follow them on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And you were able to, by following that company, you earned like a stock in that company. Well, that would be what we would call task. Because instead of you going out and doing work and things like that, you would actually be doing a task, which the task is very simple. And following is not something that most people find hard, because even little kids know how to follow on social media. But now following on social media has become an investment strategy. And so therefore, if you follow these companies that are in Black Unicorn's pre-IPO program, as they approach going to the stock market on social media, you'll be able to earn stock in those companies. And you'll be able to earn stock not just in Black Unicorn Factory like we are tonight, but you'll be able to earn stock in several hundred other companies as well. So it becomes a new way for you to invest without having the need to have capital or cash. Many of us are limited because we don't have any cash. And many times that was a barrier for many when we were developing this program. We want those who are not investing to invest. But the number one barrier they said was, I'm sorry, Stuart, I don't have any money to do so. So that's why we developed this right here, which is called Follow Me for Equity. Follow Me for Equity, you can go to followmeforequity.com and you can actually sign up right then to become a shareholder within 15 seconds with Black Unicorn Factory. We're on the Google Play and Apple Store. Currently, we're not on the Google Play because we're actually doing an upgrade. But you can go to followmeforequity.com and sign up just the same. We believe that this is a smart way to invest without spending a dime. We want to take money off the table, and therefore we want to take risk off the table.
Oh,
One of the things that I want you to be able to do, even tonight, is while you have your phones, screenshot this right here and make sure to share it with your friends. Let them know that if they were to scan this tonight, that they too would be $15,000 up. And there we have the largest offering in the entire in the entire app store industry. No one in the industry that offers an app is giving you $15,000 of anything or 15,000 of anything for that much. But you can, within 15 seconds, be a shareholder in Black Unicorn Factory. And this same strategy in which we're talking about, that you have to agree to follow the Black Unicorn Factory on social media, it's the same strategy for the other 149 other companies in Black Unicorn Factory's program. You'll do the same exact thing. You'll agree to follow them on social media and earn the stock. And it begins as soon as you say yes, that I will follow, that's when you invest. And so therefore, Black Unicorn Factory's program, which we call our app, the Follow Me for Equity app, we believe that it's the fastest wealth building app, or excuse me, program in the nation. Now, if there's a faster way to earn, like I said, to invest $15,000, let us know, because we're always looking for interesting and new innovation that's out there. But a person who has 149 more companies to choose from, they can build wealth extremely fast. And so I want you to just understand that we do believe that we have the fastest wealth building program in the nation. And by doing this, we can actually close the wealth gap in doing so. Because many people, the problem that we have with the wealth gap is it's not an income gap, it's an asset gap. The other communities have more assets than our community. So we want you to know that this is fast, it's easy, and it's inexpensive because it's free. You can download the app. 15 seconds later, it'll be saying, congratulations. You are now a valued member of the Black Unicorn Factory family. And that's the same thing that'll happen if you go into the other companies, which the other 149 companies that we have in our program. Demi, for explaining, this is just a short, brief explanation. I hope you'll bear with me as we'll try to exemplify what we're talking about.
Follow Me for Equity. Here's how it works. Instead of investing with your hard-earned money, you can now earn stock in over 100 pre-IPO companies by simply following them on social media. It's that easy. 1. All you have to do to invest is select from any one of over 100 pre-IPO companies on our Follow Me for Equity platform to follow on social media. 2. Then click on the Follow Me for Equity button. The agreement to follow that company for 1 year. 3. The pre-IPO company will then issue its stock in that company, immediately making you a valued shareholder. The stock is emailed to your email address in minutes. Our pre-IPO companies are SEC compliant, have a valuation of over $100 million, and are profitable and on a clear path to the New York American Stock Exchange within a year. So, stop following on social media for free and start earning equity. Start by following companies for equity today and start building wealth the old-fashioned way, by earning it. When you join the Follow Me for Equity app, you can earn stock in over 100 companies. Follow that company all the way to Wall Street. If you don't really have the money to invest, no problem. Now you can follow various companies for equity. Wealth without investing a dime of your own. There is no money to invest and no money to lose. Start today earning equity by following for equity. So why follow others on social media for free when you can follow for equity, build wealth, and invest with absolutely no money? Start investing today by just downloading the Follow Me for Equity app today.
There we go.
Follow.
And so we want you also to know that if you have friends afar and both near, that a person in Africa, India, or even Asia they can too download this app. There are no barriers there are borders and barriers to stop a person. So if you have a person that's from Jamaica or Cuba, I wouldn't say Cuba, I'm not sure about Cuba, but there are other countries, of course, all over the world. They have a phone, they can download and be a shareholder in an American company on their way to the stock market. So we want everyone to know that this is not just to the United States, but it's to anyone, anywhere in the world. And we have people from as far away as China, of course, and Japan, Hawaii, even Australia that have downloaded our app. So it's an international opportunity for everyone. One of the things I want to point out about cash-based versus task-based investing is cash-based investing is very risky. You can lose your money in cash-based investing because why? You lack control. And when you lack control, it creates something which is called more risk. Most people that invest in things that they have no control over, that's the equivalent of gambling. You know, when you go inside of a casino, you don't control anything. So therefore, that lack of control involves putting you in a position where you're almost like a gambler. But the thing about task-based investing is this: there's no risk because why? We've completely de-risked the whole investment. Why? Because when you take cash off the table, you take risk off the table. You will never lose a dime because you never will have invested. One is because also when you use task-based investing, we have a level of control. I'll explain in just a moment. And by us having more control over what we're investing in, it reduces the risk. Let me explain. Whenever you have, when we in the Follow Me for Equity app, excuse me, when you download the app, it creates what is called more visibility for the app, and more visibility creates more for more people to want to invest, or rather download the app itself. So downloading the app is actually a form of investing. But the more people that download the Follow Me for Equity app or one of the apps in the other companies, it increases the value with every download. So if you want to watch in real time and see the stock that you've downloaded in a company go up, watch the downloads come in. So therefore, who's controlling it? We are, because the more that we inform other people that they can become shareholders, and it's very easy to do so, it actually will help you in their stock that you own, and it's helping the company as it's on its way to the stock market. It also increases the revenue. The more people that are following, and the more people that are following on social media, it increases the revenue. But the other thing is the more people in terms of liquidity, the more people holding the stock, it makes the stock easier to be sold. And so these are the reasons why I said that we're in control. The bad thing about between these strategies and going public is that whenever people tell me many times that they're investing in a company, they don't exactly ask these two questions. There are only two ways for investors to get their money back. Only two. One way to get your money is if the company is ever sold. And when a company is sold, you get a piece of the company when it's sold. But many companies that are out there selling investments in them, they don't know when that's going to happen. They don't know, they don't have any control over who's going to come up one day and say, I want to buy you. And so therefore, you're in a situation where your money is in a position where there's very little control. You're sitting and waiting for someone to see you as a darling and come buy you and come buy the company. On the other hand, there's going public. Going public is something that you control or the companies control because you're the one who have to put in the application. You're the one who has to submit all the documentation. So therefore, between the two different ways, there's more likely that you will go public than you will get acquired. One is because acquisition or being acquired by a bigger company is not up to you. But when it comes to going public, that is up to you. And so that's why I said we and the companies going public, they determine their exit. They determine, and the other thing I want you to remember is if a company never gets sold or if it never goes public, you never get your money back. So one, you have to always remember it. I know there's a lot of great ideas out there and a lot of the great gadgets that are being sold, but you want to ask always, when are you guys when do you think you might get acquired or when do you think you might go public? That's an honest question because you're asking, when do I get my money back? And so I just want you to know that if neither one of these two situations happen, you'll never see a dime of your money. It doesn't matter how great the idea is. If it doesn't make money, it's not a good idea. So therefore, just remember all the companies that are in the Black Unicorn Factories program, they're all going public. We don't have anything that's trying to stay private. But that's another discussion because we can go a lot deeper into that subject. The other thing is some of these companies that not some of them, but the companies in Black Unicorn Factory, they have a different strategy. They're not trying to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are focused on one thing, making money, and you have one stream of revenue. In these companies that you're going to be investing with by downloading their app, they're going to be investing in other companies. They're going to invest in products and services and franchises and new businesses and emerging companies. Why do they do that? Because they're acting just like the big boys. You see, the biggest companies in America, such as Amazon, Amazon is not just one business, it's 450 businesses. You see, 450 businesses is a lot stronger business model than one. Most entrepreneurs are just focused on one stream of revenue. Why do you think that the biggest companies in the nation are loading up on businesses? Because they know that those businesses can be affected by people copycatting your products or mimicking what you're doing as a service. And so they're cutting into your revenue stream. And if you only have one revenue stream, then you're out of revenue stream. So it's important to have multiple revenue streams in your business. And so many of the big companies in America, like Amazon, 450 businesses, Apple is over 700 companies. You see, if one company fails in Apple, they got 699 more. So they're not really that concerned. The companies that survive are the ones who are deep with revenue streams, multiple revenue streams. So whenever you're looking at a business's strategy, always look to understand that whether their strategy is to become a bigger company by acquiring other companies. Google's the same way. There are over 300 businesses in Google. But if you look at Google from the front, it just looks like one business, but they're not. There are hundreds of businesses behind them. And so that's the strategy of the companies that are in our pre-IPO program. Their intention is to go public and to act just like the big boys, to acquire other businesses and to become a more sustainable business model because diversification is the key to success. The more revenue streams, the stronger your business model. Always remember that. So therefore, what the thing is, I want you to understand is what can I do, Stuart? What can I do with the stock that I get from downloading and following these companies? Well, one of the things you can do when you follow it with the stock is that you can sell it for cash. Yes, when you go public, the stock is just like a cashier's check. You don't have to go down and cash anything. You can just make a phone call on the phone and say, I'd like to sell my stock. And because it's on such a high quality a stock exchange like NASDAQ, it doesn't take going down and going through a lot of things that you have to do, red tape. What you can do in that case is just make a phone call and they can easily sell your stock and then deposit the cash into your checking account. The other thing that you can also do when you have stock is you can borrow against it. When a stock is on the stock market, it's cashable. You can borrow against it up to 80%. And 80%, you got to remember, this is where you can actually you can pull cash out, but still have it. Why I would suggest that you should borrow against it is because if you sell stock, it's considered revenue and you can be taxed. But what the rich do is they borrow against their stock, which borrowing against stock is considered a debt and you're not taxed on debt. So therefore, many of them as the stock, and also you don't want to sell a stock because if it's in its infancy, like many of the companies going public, these businesses grow and you don't want to miss out on that growth because growth means more money. And so you'll be able to borrow more. And so therefore, just remember, I teach in all my classes that you should borrow because borrowing is statistically and tax-wise, it's a smart move. And you can borrow as the stock goes up. Many people live off their stock borrowing for years, and you can do the same thing. So these are options that you have. You can sell and you can borrow against the stock that you have. The other thing to understand is I know that there are many here who are first-time investors. They don't own any stock. They've never owned any stock. But I want you to understand where is stock held? Well, we're all familiar with banks, right? Banks deal with cash and checks, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank. They deal with cash and with checks. Well, brokerages are actually a form of financial institution, except they deal with stocks and bonds. Companies like Charles Schwab and Fidelity and Merrill Lynch, those are brokerages. And so when you go to deposit your stocks that you earned, you're going to deposit into brokerages. And those brokerages will allow you to borrow or to sell. They'll help you to sell it. You won't have to go out there and solicit anyone. They can take care of that for you. So just so that you understand that when you do earn stock, where you'll place them in a brokerage. The other one is you'll receive a statement such as this one here. This is from a sample of a Charles Schwab. It's just like a bank statement. You know, bank statements and brokerage statements look very much alike. Or actually, to me, they look just alike. But if you are a person, most rich people don't even have, they don't really keep money in banks. They keep them in brokerages because whenever they want money, they'll just borrow against their stock or sell the stock. But you'll receive when you open up an account with Charles Schwab, as for instance, an example, you'll receive a brokerage statement just like a bank statement. And so if you open up with another brokerage such as Fidelity, same thing. You can open up and you'll get a statement each month. And like I said, acts just like it. And if you want to borrow against it, you can. I kind of call it now later money. Why? Because you can borrow now and get cash now, and you can still have your stock for later. And so the only where else can you spend money and keep it at the same time, except when you're dealing with stock? So always remember that those are two things that you can do. You can sell and you can also borrow, and you'll receive savings. The one of the things I always point out, I want people to know, if you're ever investing in any company and that company is stock is not depositable, you can't put it in a brokerage. Well, as you see here, you might as well frame it and put it on the wall because that's really all it's good for. You can stare at it for years, but if it's not depositable, it's really not doing anything because it can't show up in any financial institution will take it. And so therefore, it's just something to look at. One of the things I want you to just remember is that we are tonight trying to introduce this follow me for equity strategy or task-based investing because we believe it's the fastest way for a person to gain wealth. And we do believe it's easy. It's one of the easiest ways to build wealth. One of the things about it is to try to help a person to understand imagine what all the stock in 150 different companies could do. Where there's going to be, as we predict, a boom in buying of new homes. Many people, that's what they struggle. They're struggling trying to save. Well, you can realize that, hey, you end up downloading enough stock, yes, you will be buying your next home with that. Also, starting businesses. Many small businesses can't get capital. Well, this is another strategy. Downloading stocks and companies will actually give you enough startup capital to launch. Or you can go public through the new law President Obama passed, the Jobs Act, which will give you deep-pocketed money so you can be a nationwide business. Also paying for college. What we have right now is a problem in America where there's $1.4 trillion in student debt. Students are going into their 60s and still owing student debt. And that's preventing a lot of things, a lot of dreams in their life. The children are suffering because of it, and they suffer many years later because of student and tuition debt. While a person could now download the app while they're in college and pay for their college education through downloading and following on social media. The other one is medical expenses, and we know how that can be, and things like that because many people have bad credit and losing things, and their health is bad because they can't get proper health care. And so therefore, this is an opportunity to get the proper health care that you need. Also, retirement. You know, we have a lot of people that haven't saved enough money in their lifetime to retire. And so that's a really bad thing that's happened to them. This is kind of a retirement rescue for you to catch up for all the years that you hadn't had a chance to invest for your retirement. Because if you don't plan for your retirement, you're probably going to be, very not well off. I'll just say that much. But now you can play, like I said, catch up, downloading apps, and it does, like I said, there's no age restriction, and most everyone has a phone, and so therefore you can build from where you are right now, your retirement. Also, you got to think about your legacy where you'll leave something for your children. You want to download the app and join and be a shareholder in these companies so that you can pass your wealth on to your children, your grandchildren, and so that they can be provided for after you've left. And so therefore, these are some of the things that you can do when you have stock. And we want you to turn around and understand the risk factor is gone. We've completely de-risked it because we've taken cash out of the equation. And so therefore, I want you also to know that you can also, if you're interested in stock in other companies, we have 149 and there's 350 on hold. We want you to know that we have a channel that'll be coming up where each and every week you'll be able to tune in on YouTube and you'll be able to scan other company stock and work and earn stock for those companies by following them on social media. This is a rendition of what it would kind of look like. So you would tune in, we would send you an email, and you can actually sign up for that when you do download the app or sign up. You actually become a member of our program where we'll send you a notification letting you know that there's a new offering. And so you'll actually get first dibs because you actually signed up tonight. And so I want you to understand that if you don't worry, there's plenty of companies for you and actually, if you were to come back, let's say you missed a few weeks, the other offerings are still there. You can scan them and get stock in all those companies as well. So we want you to know that that's something that we'll make available. We have a YouTube channel, and it's called Follow Me for Equity. And on that YouTube channel, you'll actually be able to tune in, and that'll start in June. But you'll actually tune in, and you'll be able to get stock of different companies that are going public at that point in time. Like I said, there's over 100, and not one of them is offering less than $10,000 in equity in their companies. So it's actually a very lucrative opportunity if you were to tune in each week. And so you want to get notification, of course, early as possible. One of the things, like I said, investing and building wealth without spending a dime, this is exactly the strategy to do it. It's task-based investing, and it's very easy, as I present tonight to you. So I want everyone to know, yes, you can invest, but if you have no capital or you're new to investing and you don't really have the self-confidence to invest, this is a very risk-free form of investing. You know, they have what they call simulators, stock simulators and programs that you can practice investing, but you don't actually, like I said, can't really make real money in a lot of those programs. But in this way, you can actually, without fear of losing any money, you can actually invest. This is an easy, fast, and simple way. And actually, like I said, it's one of the best programs that we know of in the nation. One of the things about it, so therefore, tonight when you sign up on the app, if you've got a chance to screen share that, not screen share, but get a screenshot of our page, you can actually be in our what we call our masterclass, which is our free investing with no cash masterclass, where you'll actually get first dibs on companies when they become available. And we intend to have them coming available at a rate of about 10 to 25 per month, maybe even more as we branch out. But if you were to enroll tonight in Follow Me for Equity, go there, followmeforequity.com, or scan the barcode that you was presented earlier. You'll get a chance to be in this masterclass and actually have first dibs. And that's important. Why is first dibs important? Well, let me just give you, remember I said earlier that this app is all over the world. And remember, it's $15,000 American. In many countries, that's a lot of money. And they have access to our apps as well. And you can imagine for a person that only lives in a country, and there's over 30 countries like that in the world, that only make about $100 a month. Well, if they download this app, that's almost the equivalent of 12 years, basically. So you can imagine when the word gets out, everybody in the whole community is going to download the app. So you want to get first dibs. You don't want to be last, because these companies, as well as Black Unicorn, we don't have an unlimited supply of stock. We do have a certain amount that is made available. So you do want to be first in line to be given the opportunity. So enroll. Like I said, sign up tonight. You'll be in that master class, which is just the first dibs. You're going to get first dibs on all the companies as they become available. And so if I want in ending tonight, I want you to know if you have any questions that you can go to info@blackunicornfactory.com and make sure to say, hey, Stuart, I had a question about this or that. And I'll try to do the best I can. I love questions. The harder, the better. Because why? I get a chance to learn too, especially if it's something I haven't heard before. But I want you to know if you have any questions after tonight's presentation, that please reach out to us and ask questions and ask to be, like I said, a part of the First Dibs program. Well, I'll end here and we'll open up for a couple of questions. I think my assistant, she will turn around and open up so we can take a few questions. But just remember to get this right here. Pass this along to your friends, put it on your social media pages, and let them all know that they too can be shareholders in 15 seconds. It's just that simple. And so I want everyone to be able to invest. We want to level the playing field. And leveling the playing field means that there cannot be only those who have can invest. We've now leveled the playing field where even the have-nots can invest right along with the haves. And so this is a leveling of the playing field, and we can close the wealth gap using this strategy. So I want to thank everyone tonight who's in attendance, who's had a chance to look at this innovative and revolutionary strategy. I hope that you'll have questions. I hope you'll continue to follow us on social media and become a shareholder in hundreds of companies and be able to financially make your dreams come true. I'll open up just for a moment and since if we have a question from someone,
We
I'll ask a few questions and then we'll depart from that point. What do we have there?
we do have a couple questions in the chat. We were asking to put the questions in the chat. One of the first ones was from one of your viewers, Michelle. She asked
Yes.
how much stock is given.
Well, each company is different, but in Black Unicorn's offering, it's $15,000 in common stock that gives you a chance to vote in the say-so of the company. And that's important. Sometimes you have to listen carefully because common stock means that you have a chance to vote in the operations of the company. If you're given preferred stock, you're not. But I just want to answer the question directly. There's $15,000 in stock issued immediately. And the reason why it's that way is because the Black Unicorn Factory stock is $150 per share. And you're given 100 shares when you download or when you enroll in the Black Unicorn Factory. So it's actually about $15,400. We just rounded it off for that much. You have another question?
Well, you answered the next question, so we appreciate that. And they said, what's the cost breakdown per share? That was the next question.
154. Actually, I'm not exactly being forthwith with you because our share price today is $272. And what is that based on? Well, we have something that all companies who issue stocks have to have, and that's called a 409A report. A 409A report is where the company is evaluated for its value, and then therefore its stock is evaluated. Our last valuation, which was about 4 months ago, has us at $272 per share. We make that valuation available as well for many of our investors to see in case they want to see that or they want to show it to someone else. It's based on our audited financial statements, which are basically audited by CPA, and the appraisal that we receive is by someone who is very highly decorated as a business appraiser, and it does our 409A report. And so this number that you're looking at on the screen is not exactly accurate right now because it's actually $27,000. Now, I don't know, you got to tell people, but they're not getting 15,000. You're actually getting 27,000 because our stock value has increased. So I want you to just know, I know it's a lot, but you deserve it. Yes. Do we have any other question?
We do. I'm going to ask whoever is showing their name as CN, if you would please type your question in the chat so we can address it there. That's where we are addressing all questions, is we're limiting them to the chat. Thank you. And then I have one of the viewers, Vic. They are asking when they go to sign up, they receive a message that states you have already submitted that form, and they have not submitted any form. So there's quite a few people getting the same message.
That can happen. I'll tell you the reason why. We have people from all over the world, right, who are signing up. And even though we're making this opportunity to people all over the world, you have some people that want to take advantage of the opportunity and sign up multiple times, right? So our system is designed to capture your IP address. And when it captures your IP address, because many people that are manipulators, they will use different email addresses, right? And so by using different email addresses, they might sign up 15, 20, 100 times. Well, we stop that because it captures your IP address. Now, when it's giving you that warning and it's saying that you've already signed up, either someone has used your computer or possibly used your phone and has signed up, and your IP address has been captured with someone else, maybe in your family. The only thing that I would suggest is try to do it from a different phone or a different computer with a different IP address. Well, we did that just so that you'll know, to prevent manipulation. And remember, we also because we're under KYC, know your customer, we have to what we call scan everyone who also signs up. So you have some people that are playing games and they like to, my name is, and they use a cartoon character. Well, that won't fly because we're doing what is called an OFAC check. And with OFAC, they're actually checking to see if you're a member of a cartel or maybe some terrorist organization. So we have to make sure that we can't give stock to those and support those types of individuals. But if you're just answer your question clearly, I want you to know, yes, it's because someone close to you has either used your phone or your computer, but it's okay. Just go and with a different IP address. That's all.
Okay. Thank you for that. We have the next question. Someone with iPhone Courtney stated or asked the question, what is the minimum buy-in? I think they need clarity on that.
Well, there's no cash buy-in, but you can invest in companies once they go public if that's what you choose. What we're doing is we're bringing pre-IPO, which is before the stock market. Most people are taught to invest after a company gets on the stock market. Well, that's not when money is made. Money is made when as they say, the killing is taken when stocks are actually before they get to the market. All the rich, that's where they invest. They invest in companies before, and they make tremendous amounts of money doing so. This opportunity we're giving has never actually been given before because up until 2012, when President Obama passed the Jobs Act, you could not, if you were not a millionaire already, invest in pre-IPO companies. That was totally against the law. Under Regulation D, you could not, if you were not what is called an accredited investor, you could not invest in pre-IPO companies. That was totally, and actually to this day, it's actually, you still can't invest in pre-IPOs. The only exception to the rule is what you're doing now. You don't, if you're not a millionaire, the only way that you can invest in pre-IPO companies is if you work for them. So they made an exception under Rule 701. So, but there's not a buy-in, I'm sorry. We're trying to make this available to those who don't have money to buy in. But yes, but once the company does enter the market, yes, you can go through your broker and you can buy in, of course.
Okay. And then some people are asking keys to or keys success. Which login do we choose? Sign up or affiliate login?
I would do both. The reason why is because some of you that are listening tonight are actually followed by many people. You have many social media followers. And our affiliate program actually awards you for every 5 persons that sign up because of you. You receive a share of stock, additional share of stock. But what happens when you do the affiliate program and you click the affiliate button, it gives you your own link. And that link can be turned into a QR code, and you can put it on your social media page. And it tracks every single person that actually signed up through it because you gave it visibility. And so you're not realizing some of you have huge followers, amounts of followers and fan bases that would actually make you rich if they all took advantage of this opportunity as well. So I would suggest that anyone who signs up and receives stock tonight, yes, you should. It's going to ask you automatically if you would like to be a member of our affiliate program and actually receive your own code that you can pass along to family, friends, and others and receive credit because they see the opportunity in downloading stock and becoming a shareholder.
Okay. It looks like some people are having the same error message. I would suggest that we try to figure out a workaround so we don't focus so much on technical issues tonight. But maybe if you can email info@blackunicornfactory.com and express what you are experiencing, then that way we can address each person individually as
Don't
opposed
worry,
to
I'll work it out for them so they can get in. Just make sure to send an email. As I said a little earlier, you can email at info@blackunicornfactory.com, and I'll make sure that we address your needs in terms of getting in. So we'll take care of that.
Okay. And then just to recap, please let them know there are people that are asking where they can get the recording for their meeting. So
Just send an email. It'll be better because if you send an email, we can attach the link to the recording and send it right back to you. It's really not. It's very easy. You can just take your email and send it to you. But I'm glad. I hope that you'll get a chance to review this and have more questions. I love it. Like I said, I love the questions because I'm a teacher. So teachers love questions. Yes.
Okay. And then we have two more questions
Okay.
before we close out. They said, are the shares fully vested once received,
But
or is there a waiting
yeah,
period?
yes. Once you, like I said, they are fully vested, you've earned them. We want you to get through the process. But as soon as you register with the on the different social media platforms, yes, they are vested. Most people are not aware when we talk about vesting and not vesting. Under IRS rules, an investor is typically someone who invests with cash, right? That's an investor. But a vestor is someone who earns the stock. So when you go to IRS code 26 USC 83A or 83B, it refers to those who earn stock as vestors, VESTOR. And yes, but what we've done is if you'll read the terms and conditions that are listed there, you can actually, when you, of course, follow those the guides to in terms of following, become a follower. Yes, you are vested at that point, and you'll get confirmation. Yes. So most people, when we turn around and we're saying to follow on certain social media pages, they can probably do that in an hour or so. Most people know how to follow.
All right. And one last question.
Mhm.
Um, looks like there were two. How much, because we got about 5 minutes before we hit the top of the hour, how
Okay.
much the affiliates do they receive for every sign up?
There are five. So every five, you receive another share. And remember, I don't know if you remember what I said a little earlier. The more people that are downloading this app, the more
Mhm.
you're causing the value of the stock to go up. That's why I said this is a matter of control. So you have to just remember, yes, you want to turn around. I'm sorry, I'm trying to work here. The thing is that if you were to sign up 1,000 people, you'll actually see the value of the stock grow. So you're actually helping to make more money for the company and actually increasing the value of your stock.
All righty. And I have a William George. He put in, how can we get our own app to be on the app to follow in the list of apps
I
in
like
Black
that.
Unicorn
We
Fact?
every black if you're in the pre-IPO program and you're an entrepreneur and you try to get capital from venture capitalists and angel investors are struck out and the banks are not trying to fool with you, that's common, especially of those from the minority community because just as statistically, 99% of venture capital money goes to people that look just like them or from their community. And that's the reason why that we have the Jobs Act is because it's trying to level the playing field, giving minorities and women and veterans an opportunity to get capital that in another way when they've been so discriminated, in my opinion, against. But when you come into Black Unicorn Factory's program, every company has to agree to do two things primarily. One, you got to go public because we want every investor to see a return on their investment and the only way you can do that is either get bought or you're going to go public. And we can control going public because we're the ones putting the application in. But the other thing is that we give and design an app just strictly for your company because we want to make the same way that you became a shareholder tonight. We want to give everyone else out in the world who would like to be an investor an opportunity to invest in you without the need of having any capital. We're trying to level the playing field. We want to close the wealth gap. We believe that we have the strategy that can do that. We want to pay off student loans and help people get housing and improve our economy. And we need to remove the biggest barrier of all. And so we want you, if you are an entrepreneur, you're looking to raise capital, going public is definitely a way to raise capital. But when you go public, just remember one thing, and the third thing I might include is that you can't go public thinking small because the stock market, when you get to the market, it's not about you got deep pockets, very deep, and your stock becomes something that you can borrow against or leverage. And so you're able to open up several locations, many 50, 100 locations, because the stock market is for big plans. So if you have big plans to take an operation nationwide and open many the locations or to buy franchises or trucking or whatever the company ideas that you have, that's why you go public. But if you're thinking mom and pop and small, sorry, that the stock market is not for you. Especially nowadays, I just want to just conclude the question. Amazon is eliminating many businesses that are mom and pop. They're on the attack to get mom and pops to shut down and to join their network. And so the mom and pop actually is a thing of the past. Right now, as I say in our business classes, you either go big or go home, as they say in Texas, because the day of mom and pop and small businesses, those days are over. So when you come with an idea to Black Unicorn Factory go public, we're going to supersize that idea. We want you to think big because you're going to be big if you take your company public.
All
Yes,
right.
Anita.
Thank you. Well, there was someone by the name of Bostress that had a question. I sent him
Sure.
a message and asked him to put it in the chat. So I just want to make sure that before we close out, that their question was answered. I didn't see it in the chat, but I
Okay.
believe that that person is still on. But if you're unable to answer or type your question here before we leave today, please send your information to info@blackunicornfactory.com. And you can have
Yes.
your question answered there. I think
Thank
we
you.
are ready. We're at the top of the hour. So if you're ready to close out,
Okay.
we're good to
Well,
go.
everyone, I want to thank everyone who's in attendance tonight. I've had a pleasure. I've had fun. I hope you did too. And I hope that you'll tune in on YouTube and listen to, and we get more offers that we'll offer. And we're going to do this frequently, but I want you to know that you're welcome to join us on this journey of helping to elevate many people, millions of people financially. And so I wanted to part by saying good night and God bless. And thank you again for attending our meeting.